Hey everyone! Just before you watch this video, if you have a moment, check down in the description below because there'll be some links, and these links will take you to the different studies and information that I was able to use to make this brief overview video on fasting. I wanted to say thank you, pay homage, respect, and cite the people who've spent hundreds if not thousands of hours putting together information on fasting and a whole bunch of awesome and helpful tools that have helped me and hopefully will be able to help you as you go on your journey and walk towards a healthier lifestyle. Hey my you ladies and my you gents, I'm StevenTocher, and on today's episode of my Thoughtful Thursdays, I'm going to be talking to you about why I fast. Now, for years, whether I was working out, or I was in a gym, or I was in a nutrition store, I'd hear things like, well, you're supposed to eat a whole bunch of times a day. And to be honest with you, for my digestion, I do eat 5 times a day because I need to, right? However, the idea of going into starvation mode and, gaining a whole bunch of fat and losing muscle, to me, to be honest with you, isn't really that true. From the people that I've worked out with closely, to the trends online, to the idea that fasting has been in religions for thousands of years and people have found it to be a very healthy practice, I think that fasting is a pretty good thing to do. Again, depending on if you're healthy, if you're moving towards proper health, if you're talking to your doctor and nutritionist, and if you know that you don't have any complications with your health. And those are things that you're going to have to broach with a professional. But for the most part, the average person, I would suggest giving fasting a shot. And this is the reason why. Alright, so first of all on this board we have the sweet spot, okay? The sweet spot for fasting is 18 to 24 hours. Now, if you fast for over 72 hours, all those things that I just talked to you about, they will change. Yeah, you will probably lose some muscle mass, and yeah, your body will probably metabolize at a different rate. You might go into a bit of starvation mode, right? So, over 72 hours is kind of like, what a lot of the magazines and what a lot of the articles online say today that to kind of stay away from. But getting between 18, okay, and 24 hours of a fast, right, is actually, from what they say, pretty good for you, right? And the reason for this is because during this time frame in particular, and again, everyone's completely different, your insulin level drops around 70%. Now that's pretty cool, alright? Insulin level dropping, and again, insulin has a direct effect on diabetes, especially if you're diabetic and stuff like that, so you have to be very, very careful, and again, that's why I suggest, talking to a professional. However, if you're in the clear health-wise and everything's okay, lowering your insulin level, especially at a younger age, is a really good idea. Because as you do that, right, you start taking away a lot of your health risks. Now people will say, whoa, what about my sugar levels? Well, what's really cool is glucagon. Alright, glucagon is one of those hormones that actually goes to the fat cells and different types of cells in your body and says, I need some sugar from you. They'll end up going, especially to the fat cells, and starting to extract energy from them and sugar from them. So this is actually going up, and to the percentage, everyone again is completely different, right? But it's going to kind of counteract, which is really cool. So in an 18 to 24 hour period, if you can fast, usually water, if you need a coffee or something like that, go ahead if you're feeling really low with your energy. But if you can try and stay away from more or less a food fast, then you'll be able to decrease your insulin level around 70%, and you'll be able to increase your glucagon level and other hormones that will actually be able to restore those sugar levels to keep you even, and that's going to help in the long run, because if you do it a couple times, in a month or maybe once a week or something like that, that'll really just help your body out in general to break down more fat and stay away from getting, elevated levels of sugar. So the other really, really cool thing, from what I understand, your growth hormone increases so you don't lose muscle mass, which is fantastic. They've done tons of studies, and in these studies, the growth hormone actually it keeps all of your muscle mass together. There's no issues. So think about it. Men and women, y'all are going to be healthier while you fast. Your body's going to retain that muscle mass, and your strength level is going to stay the same while you're burning fat. That's really exciting, right? So those are some of the reasons why I fast. Now it's kind of what you can think of day to day, for your weekend, and I'll just conclude with what I do. Okay, so for instance, day to day. Now let's say for instance you don't eat too early in the morning and you don't eat too late at night. So maybe, you eat between 10 and 6, kind of like myself, right? If you eat between those hours, and let's take into digestion, let's say, you stop eating at 6 and then you digest until 9. If you digest from 9 p.m. until like say 10 a.m. when you eat the next day, that's 13 hours. So you're not going to get the full 70%, but daily, you might be a 20, 30, 40% decrease in your insulin level, maybe even more or less depending on your body type. And again, if you eat, you need to eat, you're hungry or your energies are low, again, it's not something for you to do all the time. It's usually a choice that you can make, a choice that's pretty good for your body in general. Now for the weekend, what's really cool is that a lot of people, again, we gorge on the weekend. We have our cheat days. For me, I call it a reset day because I like to, eat really clean, have a nice evening, especially on a Saturday, eat some food that I really like, work towards my goal, have, that goal or my reset, have some, meals that are up and down, and then I like to go into a fast. Now, again, if you think about it, you can sleep in, say for me on a Sunday, then I only have to fast 8 hours throughout the day. I drink a lot of water, make sure that I'm in a good restful position, kind of relaxing, and I actually, fast sometimes up to 30 hours. Now, again, and we come to the conclusion here for myself, the reason why I actually started fasting was more of a spiritual reason. There's some private things that I think about and pray about during that time, but for the most part, it was just one of those things where I was like, oh, okay, I started talking to some other friends and they would fast, 18 to 24 hours a day before their meals, and they were working out, and I said, okay, well, I was just doing it and I did feel a little bit low on energy, but after I kept doing it over and over again, I really feel that my growth hormone started to kick in, and week to week as I've done this, and daily as I go at least 12 hours or so, and with the sleep included, my body has really changed. My energy level is high, and granted, you can't give up sleep and you have to eat properly with nutrition. I'm not saying giving up eating altogether or you're going to have a lot of problems, but for the most part, fasting, from what I've seen over the past year in my own life and what I've seen in the past 2 years in some people's lives and multiple years and multiple studies that have happened in the recent decades, and just the trend of thousands of years worth of religions saying you should fast, I really would say fasting is a good idea, again, if you have no health issues or complications. So yeah, that's fasting from my perspective. If you have a comment or question, or you think fasting is just completely bizarre, drop it in the comment section below. I'll try to answer any questions and chit chat with you as soon as possible. If you want to check out any of the websites, my own website, the blog, anything to do with this video, it'll be in the description below. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a wonderful day, evening, morning, or night. God bless. Oh yeah, and if you like what I'm doing, please tweet, tumble, like, share, thumbs up, plus, pin, or do whatever you do, and please subscribe.